To be a blonde means that you're dumb. At least that's what other people assume. Obviously that's not true, but the stereotype continues to be a real thing. People make fun of us all the time. You know, in a recent survey, 29 out of 41 blondes said that they'd been called dumb or some other derogatory name because of their hair color. That's 70%. I don't like that percentage, and I think something needs to be done. The problem is we're fighting against movie scenes like this.
Elle?
Werner? I totally forgot you go here.
What are you talking about? Oh, I'm sorry. You're here to see me?
No, silly. I go here.
You go where?
Harvard Law School.
You got into Harvard Law?
What, like it's hard? Oh my gosh, Werner, I'm planning this totally awesome mixer and you totally have to help me. I'm thinking maybe a luau or casino night. It's gonna be just like senior year except for funner. Sure, at that moment all I really wanted was to get back with Werner and have fun partying, but that's not all there is to me. Everyone has their moments, but for some reason blondes get called dumb and brunettes don't. Blondes are the ones you play around with and brunettes are the ones you marry. If blondes aren't careful, they could be taken advantage of because of their assumed dumbness, taken advantage of and have their pride and dignity hurt because of it. Jennifer Berdahl on her blog says, our data suggests that blonde women are not only assumed to be younger than their darker haired counterparts, but are also judged to be less independent-minded and less willing to take a stand than other women and other men. In other words, Barbie can be CEO as long as she is young and or docile.
About the alibi, I'm impressed that you took the initiative to go and get it. That's what makes you a good lawyer.
Wow, it means so much to me to hear you say that.
I think it's time to discuss your career path. Do you know where you're going to be a summer associate at?
Not really. I know how competitive it all is.
I mean, you know what competition's really about, don't you? It's about ferocity, carnage, balancing human intelligence and animal diligence, knowing exactly what you want and how far you'll go to get it. How far will Elle go?
You're hitting on me?
You're a beautiful girl, Elle.
So everything you just said?
I'm a man who knows what I want.
And I'm a law student who just realized her professor is a pathetic asshole.
Too bad. I thought you were a law student who wanted to be a lawyer.
The only reason Professor Callahan would have let me get further in the law world is if I was docile and didn't make a big fuss or a big difference. Then I could follow my dreams and sneak around with him. There's not much we can do to change what people have grown up thinking, that blondes are docile pushovers. But blondes can either be pushed into a corner by the dumb blonde stereotype, or we can do our best to prove society wrong. Minna Sutlin wrote her doctoral degree on the blonde paradox. It says that blonde women use masquerade as a strategy to disarm the threat of their entrance into patriarchal societies of power and privilege in order to assume the position of subject rather than object, meaning blondes can use the stereotypes and assume power and not just be the dumb blonde, but someone to respect. Miss Wyndham, what did you do earlier that day?
Got up, got a latte, went to the gym, got a perm, went home.
Where you got in the shower?
Yes.
And isn't it the first cardinal rule of perm maintenance that you're forbidden to wet your hair for at least 24 hours after getting a perm?
Yes.
And if in fact you weren't washing your hair, which I suspect you weren't because your curls are still intact, that means you would have heard the gunshot. And if you had heard the gunshot, that means Brooke Wyndham wouldn't have had time to hide the gun before you got downstairs, which means you would have had to see Brooke Wyndham with a gun in her hand to make your story plausible. Isn't that right?
She was my age. Did she ever tell you that? How would you feel if your father married someone your age?
You, however, had time to hide the gun after he shot your father. Didn't you, Chutney?
I didn't mean to shoot him. I thought it was you walking through the door.
Order, ladies, order!
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That was the first case I ever won. I proved to everyone that I'm not just a boyfriend-obsessed shopaholic, and I used my own personal knowledge to win the case. I hope other blondes can take something from my experience and learn they can do anything they put their minds to, and that it wouldn't be just an accomplishment for them, but for the blonde community as a whole.
To be a blonde, it means you're a bully, and most bullies are blonde. Research shows that 90% of blondes in movies are bullies, and most of them are men.
Usually blonde women are thought of as more friendly and approachable. That's why 48% of CEOs are blonde women, but only 2% of CEOs are blonde men. There isn't any evidence to prove why, it's just one of those stereotypes. Like how most bullies are jocks wearing Leatherman jackets and girls are super fashionable and only hang out with their cliques. Hey, I need to talk to you. You know that girl Katie?
Yeah, she's cool. I invited her tonight.
Well, be careful because she has a huge crush on you.
Really? How did you know?
Because she told me, she tells everyone. It's kind of cute actually. She writes all over her notebook, Miss Erin Salmon. And she has this t-shirt that says I Heart Erin and she wears it under all her clothes.
Ugh, come on.
And I didn't want to tell you this, but she told me that she saved a Kleenex that you use and she's going to do some type of African voodoo on it to make you like her.
What?
I know that was totally rude of me, but honestly, the only reason I did it was because of the time. It was super important to me that I maintain my social status. Since Katie was the new hot girl, I had to make sure that she was still under my wing so I could keep the social dominance. Since I didn't have great influences at home, I was raised to believe that I could control everything, and anything that threatened that control had to be put down. Psychology Today writes that the new line of thinking really indicates that bullies feel great, and you're just an easy target to help them do the things that they love. And bullying still may provide these people with improved social status relative to where they started, and for some people may be the only option to gain social dominance. Technically, anyone can be the bully, but movies have decided that the blonde is always going to be the bully. There is no research to provide this reasoning, however, it's just another stereotype that backs blondes into a corner.
To be a blonde means to be an object that guys can just mess around with, never commit to. An object that has no feelings, dreams, or hopes. When you're a blonde, people automatically assume that you're just docile or just there to have a good time. In film, when the protagonist or the main female character is a blonde, the plot often consists of her trying to seduce or catch the male of her interest. Ellen Trimper says in her book, I'm No Angel, The Blonde in Fiction and Film, on about January 1847, the blonde character changed. They were not the flawless and always lovable, placid and plain, good as gold blondes, familiar to the readers of fairy tales. But even now, there are scenes in film that hint at the blonde trying to get her man above all else.
You betcha. Good evening, sir. I'm Mr. Mozzarella. What can I do for you? Come to the old lady's funeral. I don't believe I've ever seen you at our services before. That's because I've been on the wagon. Please. Where they having a wake? I'm supposed to be one of the pallbearers. Show the gentleman into the chapel. Pew number 3. Yes, Mr. Mozzarella. This way, sir.
Oh, you gotta watch this part.
Oh my god!
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Are you thirsty? I can get us some wine or anything.
No, but you know how wine makes people want to feel sexy?
Well, that's okay.
Yeah, that wasn't a great moment for me, but to be honest, I hadn't ever really been the one to make all the moves before that.
What usually happens is all guys think that they can just hit on me. Like, I'm just there to please them. The brain blogger says that one thing research has made clear is that blonde women are more sexually objectified than brunettes, reduced to a sexual object, rather than being seen as a full person. Similarly, research strongly demonstrates that the greater the sexual objectification, the less deserving of respect a woman is considered to be. Which means that not only do blondes get more objectified than women with other hair colors, but because we are more objectified, we get less respect.
I don't know why Deanna's going out with a high school boy. They're like dogs. You have to clean them and feed them, and they're just like these nervous creatures that jump and slobber all over you.
Get off me! As if.
It's disgusting that they think they can just have me whenever they want. I'm still a person.
Everybody thought that all I wanted to do was shop and to get a boyfriend, but I'm not as shallow as that. I wanted to make a big difference in the world just like everybody else. I started to change myself for the better. I decided to start caring about other people's feelings and working harder in school. I actually found someone that loves me for me and not just for my appearance. But as much as I need to work on my attitude towards others, others need to work on their attitude towards me. I have feelings, I have dignity, and I have a care for other people. So for all you blondes out there, don't take any crap from people. Okay? People are rude and you don't need to deal with them. Just be yourself. As Brett Koelink says in her TED Talk, it is how we choose to react to peer pressure that defines who we are as individuals. That means we don't need to allow our stereotypes to define us.